My name is Shose Kessi, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty. And this session will run for 45 minutes. So I'm going to start with a short presentation that will give you some information about the faculty. And following that, you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions. So just bear with me while I load my presentation. There we go. I hope you can all see that. So also with me here today is Sashni Chetty, who is our faculty manager, and Yusuf Omar, who is the faculty's communication and marketing manager, and they'll be assisting me with answering your questions. So first of all, congratulations to your children for obtaining a place at UCT. We're really excited to welcome the students back this year, especially after the past 2 years of remote teaching. And in the past 2 years, we've had to adapt our teaching and learning to the state of disaster regulations, as you know, which has meant that most of our courses have been taught remotely. But luckily this year, all our undergraduate students will benefit from face-to-face teaching in the majority of their courses. And as it currently stands, the national regulations require us to ensure social distancing in all classrooms and the wearing of masks. So this means that our students this year will be taught using a mix of online classes and in-person classes on our various campuses. And the flexibility of our programs means that these details will be different for each student based on their chosen majors and courses, and they might also adapt as the year goes by, depending on the changing government regulations relating to the pandemic. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have about that after the presentation. So the humanities faculty is the largest faculty at UCT. We have more than 7,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students. Our students are drawn from all over South Africa, the rest of Africa, and the rest of the world. The same goes for our academic and administrative staff. So our faculty is very diverse. It's a diverse community, and students will learn to live and build relationships with people of different backgrounds, cultures, nationalities. And I'm very proud that the humanities experience at UCT, I think, prepares students well for life as a global citizen who can coexist and engage with the world. The faculty comprises 18 departments in 3 main clusters: the arts, the social sciences, and the creative and performing arts. And our academic departments are the basic organizational units in the faculty, and most of the students' time at UCT will revolve around the departments, the activities that take place in departments where they take their courses. Nearly all our departments are housed on 3 UCT campuses: Upper Campus, Lower Campus in Rondebosch, and also on Hidden Campus, which is in the heart of Cape Town. The faculty is home to some of the best intellectuals in the country and in the world. We attract scholars from across the globe, which means they bring to the faculty a wealth of experience, exposure to a rich diversity of knowledge and best practice. We are known for setting the highest standards for academic staff, which, with the result that today many of them are scholars of national and international stature, including award-winning composers and singers, renowned artists and literary critics, world-famous novelists and poets, national policy makers and advisors to government, and sought-after linguists and psychologists and highly respected social scientists. In the past 2 years, 4 of our academics have won the UCT Distinguished Teacher Award, which is the university's highest teaching award. So I'm very proud to say that I believe our students are in good hands. Our faculty is also a leader in terms of developing new and innovative teaching methods, which has included in recent years different forms of assessment and moving away from traditional exams. And in students' first week of classes, they will discover what their different courses offer in terms of content, assessment, and the various modes of teaching. So it's important that they attend the first week. We produce graduates who actively contribute to advancing new horizons of knowledge. Humanities graduates are highly sought after in the labor markets locally and globally. And in the context of the fourth industrial revolution and a constantly changing job market, many industries are now recognizing the skills that humanities graduates bring. They are the ones able to think critically, who understand society and human behavior, and therefore provide a key contribution to the new world of work. We have produced exceptional young people who possess imagination, insights, mental agility, and analytical skills, who are able to think laterally about the challenges facing a society grappling with transition and reconstruction. Although many of our graduates will be able to secure jobs on the strength of their first humanities degree, many may also choose to advance to postgraduate study, which further enhances their skills and employment prospects in high-level positions. But your children have time to think about that. A humanities qualification prepares students for a multitude of career paths in the public sector, the private sector, the media, the NGO sector, consultancy services, research, and academia. Analytical skills, research skills, argumentation, decision making, and strong communication skills are highly valued and essential skills in the contemporary world of work. These abilities provide an essential foundation for engaged citizenship and for entry into a changing job market. We are also part of an institution that is a center of excellence on the continent and an intellectual meeting point between Africa and the world. Many of our academic disciplines and research centers are engaged in forging research and academic collaborations in other parts of the African continent. UCT's vision as an African institution, with its three pillars of excellence, sustainability, and transformation, is at the heart of what a humanities degree provides. About the academic program. So what we offer our students in the humanities faculty is a very general, flexible degree program, either a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Social Sciences. And this exposes students to a broad range of topics and disciplines. We also allow our students to take majors in some of the other faculties, but all students have to graduate with a minimum of 2 majors, and one of which has to be a humanities major. We offer 3-year and 4-year programs. The 4-year program, also referred to as the extended degree program, follows the same principles as the 3-year degree, but requires that students take a few additional foundation courses, and they also benefit from additional tutorial support. We also offer named degrees in a variety of subjects, such as social work, fine arts, and music, amongst others. We offer a number of student support services in the faculty. These have been modified to suit our rapidly changing and fairly unpredictable environment. But our Student Engagement Office runs a mentorship program for new students, and we have a cohort of faculty advisors who students can consult throughout the academic year. The first point of call for all students are the academic and administrative staff in the departments where they're taking their courses, who can guide them in accessing these services. I would like to acknowledge the administrative staff who constitute the backbone of the faculty. We're fortunate to have a team of highly competent and passionate administrative and support staff who make things happen for students and academics. They are the people who ensure that your child's connection to UCT from application, selection, admission, and graduation is handled competently and with integrity. Our faculty office, as you can see in the photograph, is located in the BT building on Upper Campus. Also at university level, there are a number of support services which you've probably heard about through the previous sessions. And this includes career services, student wellness and disability services, the Writing Center, and financial aid. And these services would have been explained to all our first year students during their orientation sessions. It's a lot of information, and it always takes a little bit of time for new students to settle in and figure out how everything works, and make new friends, but they will get to grips with everything very soon. I always encourage students, once they're settled, to get involved in the life of the university by participating in student clubs, but also by becoming class representative, joining the Humanities Student Council, and becoming mentors and tutors as the years go by. And all of these experiences will add to their experience here. Through their interactions and friendships, they will gain important life skills, but also contribute to the intellectual life of the faculty and the university. Much of the learning we provide takes place during the conversations and activities that happen between classes. A university degree is not necessarily an easy journey, so we really appreciate your continued support as parents. Students will continue to need your support and guidance to help them stay grounded, remain confident in their abilities. But if they do need help along their way, their fellow students, their tutors, their mentors, the academics in the departments, and the staff in my office are available and eager to assist in any way that is possible. We don't always have all the answers, but we are here to support all our students and to make sure that their experience at UCT is fulfilling and positively life-changing. The fact that they made it this far means that we believe in them and we know that they can succeed. So thank you very much. I'm going to end there. And once again, a very warm welcome to the Humanities faculty. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open up for any questions that you might have. There's a hand function on the Microsoft Teams uh, thing. Sorry. And so I'll try and manage in the order that the hands come up. And for those of you who prefer to use the chat function, please feel free to do that. And Sashni and Yusuf will be assisting with answering those questions. So I have two hands up for now. I'm going to start with Lloyd. Lloyd, can you hear me? Maybe I can't hear you yet, so you need to unmute your mic.
Okay, now?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you and good day to you. Unfortunately, the sound is buffering very, very badly. And I know it's not me because I phoned my daughter in her home and she said it's buffering. We could hardly hear a word of what the dean said, unfortunately.
Thank you for letting me know. It's unfortunate. Maybe what we can do is record the presentation and put it online on the UT website so that you can have access to it. I'm also getting an
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
yeah, thank you very much. We have a hand from Kenna.
Yes, hi. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I think just to respond to the previous question, it may well be that some people can't hear you well. We were able to hear the entire presentation. Um, One of the things that I'm very curious about is from the perspective of books. And I think I just wanted to get an understanding as to when we would get that indication for the students in terms of their chosen majors and everything else. Um, is that something that is going to be shared soon or not?
Yeah, so students are currently registering and it's an online registration, so we've been experiencing some delays. But in their first week of classes, when they attend their very first sessions, they will typically get a course reader and with information about readings for the semester and any kind of requirements of textbooks and other materials that they'll need to purchase. So I think by the end of next week, they should have a good sense of what they'll need for the semester.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Shanaz?
Good afternoon, Dean. Dean, my question refers to are students permitted when there are no classes to utilize the on-site campus study facilities?
Yes, there should be. I think we are still waiting for communication from the executive about uh, where these study spaces might be located. But there are a number of spaces on campus where students can use, including the library, but also other spaces. And they just need to know that they have to respect the usual social distancing and mask wearing and sanitizing regulations that are on campus. They will see there will be lots of access to sanitizers and in our open spaces the seats will be marked, which are not available and available because of the social distancing. So yes, there will be some.
Thank you, Dean.
Sure. David? David, I can't hear you.
Hi, sorry, I'm talking to myself. So my question is about social distancing. I understand that the schools are no longer required to have social distancing, and I understand that Stellenbosch University has applied to the department to have its social distancing withdrawn in line with what schools are doing. I want to know, is UCT doing the same so that we can get kids back into lecture halls? And obviously those who want to stay at home and study, that's good for them, and those who want to get into class and interact and all the rest of it. What is the plans around that?
Yeah, we're very hopeful, David, that the regulations are going to change. But at the moment, we are constrained by the 1 meter social distancing. The good news is that they've lifted the minimum 50% requirement, and actually the social distancing requirement has reduced from 1.5 meters to 1 meter. And this has only happened in the past week, and so it's allowed us to actually start planning for a lot more face-to-face than we had originally anticipated, which is great. But there's no indication yet as to whether those regulations will be relaxed further, but we very much hope that they will.
Okay, but I mean, has the university applied for that, or are you just waiting to see if it's going to happen?
I don't know what's happening at university level. The application could have been a university-wide South Africa application, but I'm not clear about those details.
And sorry, can I sneak in one more question? My daughter is first year, and I read somewhere on the chat just now that all first years are basically having to do full online, and only there's going to be limited amount of time on campus. Is that correct? I might have missed this at the beginning when the sound was a bit funny.
No, that's not correct. So most first years will be able to do tutorials in face-to-face. At first year level, some of our undergraduate lectures are so big that we won't be able to do those in the face-to-face mode. So in most of our departments, they will have tutorials face-to-face, and in some of the departments where the classes are small, they will have both lectures and tutorials face-to-face. There are a couple of departments where we've not managed to we won't be able to provide face-to-face now unless the regulations are relaxed. That includes at the moment psychology and politics because the classes are just too big. but every student will have face-to-face because they'll have they take 4 courses per semester. So the other courses will compensate for those couple of departments where we're not able to do that. Next I have Relton.
Good day, Dean. I just wanted to know the NSFAS applications. Does the university get any notification from NSFAS? Say, for instance, when a student has been approved or successful? The reason for my question is we've been running up and down and we're not really getting through to the helpline, etc. So we're a bit in a puzzle as to whether my daughter's funding has been approved. Hence the reason I'm asking, does the university get notification from NSFAS?
Relton, I don't want to give you the wrong information. So what I'm going to ask is for Sashni to respond maybe in the chat if she's able to respond to your question. Otherwise, I've noted your name and we'll get in touch with you after the session.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Lignit? I hope I'm pronouncing it okay. Lignit?
My question is for registration. I see there are courses that are like sort of compulsory that first year students have to take, and then I think there are extra ones after that you can like choose. Can you explain to me how that works? Because I'm not so sure, and how are the timetables? Because I heard that sometimes the timetables can clash if you shop for some courses. So how do we get all this information to know which and
Okay. So yes, in some cases there are compulsory courses. So this would probably apply to students in the 4-year degree because we have some foundation courses that are compulsory. Or it could apply to students in certain other who want, for instance, to take up psychology major and they might have to take additional math. So there are various compulsory courses which students will be made aware of when they register. And I think if you have a child who's struggling to understand how to organize their timetable, they should get in touch with a curriculum advisor. So they would have received information in their email about how to get in touch with a curriculum advisor who can guide them through completing those registration forms. But also, if they have a look in the handbook, every single course is listed with a timetable. So when they choose their majors, they do have to just make sure that there's no timetable clashes. Last year, I know it was a bit more flexible because we were online, but now we're returning back to the timetable. So every course will have a code and a time indicated between time period 1 to period 5 or 6, and that corresponds to a time. So period 1 is 8 a.m. And so when students choose their courses, they must just make sure there's no clashes. But I advise you to tell the student to contact a curriculum advisor who can take them through the process.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Jenny?
Hello, Dean. Can you please tell me if the registration fee we pay goes towards our course fees or if it's a one-off that's completely separate to that? Thank you.
I believe, I'm talking as a parent now, but I believe the registration fee, well, there's no registration fee. The first fee amount that you pay that's due in February will be deducted from the full amount that you end up paying. But if you have any particular concerns, maybe send a message on the chat for Sashni to respond to.
Thank you.
Kena?
Thank you, Dean. My question relates to something you already asked, but I just wanted a little bit more clarity with regards to the psychology major for social science. When the students have to take additional mathematics, how does the credit work towards obtaining the degree, and does it extend the degree program by any additional period?
Okay, so if a student has to take those additional math courses, those two courses will count towards the total courses they need to complete their degree. So it's 20 in the 3-year program, 22 courses in the 4-year program. So those will count towards the degree. It doesn't necessarily take more time, but just to bear in mind that psychology is one of the heavy majors. So most of our majors are completed with 6 courses, 2 in each year, or 5 or 6 courses. And the psychology major, students have to complete 8 courses. So they can complete it in the time required, as long as they don't fail anything. So just to bear that in mind. But yes, the math courses count towards the degree.
Okay, thank you.
Jenny, I think that's a new hand. Jenny Evans?
Sorry, I'll remove it.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes there's a time lag before I can see hands going down. Vincent.
Yes, good afternoon. I understand that the film and media electives has limited space. Are you able to tell me what the criteria is for proceeding to the next level?
I'm not aware of any film and media courses having limited space. Some of our large courses, like I believe sociology and psychology, we do require students who want to take those courses to commit to the major, because otherwise we are often oversubscribed. So they have to commit to the major in first year, but I don't believe that applies to film and media.
Well, perhaps I've been misinformed, because the number I have specifically is that only 20 students progress to the next year or the second year. Perhaps I've been misinformed.
Okay, maybe what you're referring to is that in the second year, students can go into the production stream, and there is a prerequisite for that. They have to, I think, achieve a certain grade, but I can't tell you the details right now. But that might be the information that you received.
Yeah, possibly. It could be, when you say grade, you probably mean a certain percentage in terms of achievement.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Heather.
Thank you. This seems a long way off, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to have this conversation with my son again. So I better get all the information as soon as possible. As far as apples to apples with other countries go, I know, for example, the US has a 4-year undergraduate program, and we have a 3-year undergraduate program. And I was informed that if they did the undergrad plus honors, it is recognized by the US for admission to a master's program. Is that how you understand it? Do you have any insight on that?
Yes. I mean, I can't comment on admissions for international institutions, but many of our students, once they finish their honors, they are very competitive for master's degrees all over the world.
Thank you. So honors is advised.
I advise the honors, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Kerry?
Hi, Dean. Thank you. If my daughter takes environmental and geographical sciences as a major, does she still have to do maths? Sorry, I'm throwing you in the deep end here.
Yeah, It's a really big handbook, and I don't remember all the details.
Okay.
We can check. I mean,
Yeah, it's a science subject that she's taking. I think it falls in the sciences.
I don't recall any prerequisites for EGS, so my tentative response is no. But what your daughter could do is just have a look at the handbook or ask one of the curriculum advisors to
Okay,
help.
she's checked the handbook, and the handbook says doesn't say anything. So
Okay.
can we work on the assumption that maths is not a requirement if it's not putting it down as a requirement?
Yes, we would
Okay.
have to look at the specific courses in first year. It's usually listed with the course if there's a particular requirement, and if there's none, then you can assume that there's none.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Sure. Kerry.
No, you just did me.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my hand down now. Sorry.
Sorry. I think next is Polly. Am I right, Polly?
Yes, hello. Hello, Dean. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Dean, my daughter's registered for Bachelor of Social Sciences, or Bachelor of Social Work. And I just want to know, in the second year, when they do their clinical placement, do they get assistance with placement, or do they have to find their own placement?
Polly, they will get assistance. It's all organized through the department, and they'll have clinical supervisors to supervise their work. So she shouldn't worry.
And do that all link up with the medical students, or is it completely separate in terms of their clinical placement, or will they be linked with the medical faculty?
I believe that the training is completely separate because it is a social work training. Whether they go to the same clinical spaces is possible, but I'm just not sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. So I can see new people coming back who have already spoken. So what I'm going to do is take people who haven't asked a question yet, and then I'll come back to you if we still have time. So I see Leslie.
Oh, hi there. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I don't know, this is a bit of an odd question, so I hope I can articulate it. So my daughter we live in Cape Town, so financially it would have been easier for my daughter to go to UCT, and obviously it's one of the best universities. Now she also applied, she's very interested in anthropology, archaeology, and then with a slight angle on criminology, but not a science criminology, so not science orientated. So I had a huge tough time persuading her to do the UCT thing and not accept the WITS one, because she sees that as I don't know whether she sees that as the base or the center of anthropology. I mean, does UCT, if you look at it, is it an equivalent degree for her? She seems to be thinking that she's not going to get the same in-depth anthropology exposure that has an archaeology link. That's the first part of my question. The second one is, I don't see it stand up. There's no particular link to criminology. So I can see if you're doing a law degree, you might have exposure to it, but is there a way in her 3 or 4 years that she's doing a social science degree that she could jump across and do a course in criminology? Anyway, that's my question.
Thank you, Leslie. Of course, I'm going to tell you, you made the right decision. But what's nice about our degrees is that they're very flexible. So if she does the anthropology major, she can also do a major in archaeology. It's not in our faculty, but it's students in humanities can take that major. So she could graduate with both. And then there are some courses in the faculty that look at crime and deviance and so aspects of criminology. I would advise her to look at the handbook and look in the sociology department. They have a course that touches on criminology. I believe in psychology, but that might be only at postgrad. So there will be some courses that will touch on those issues in other departments. I would advise her to look at sociology in particular, but maybe not in first year, so she should look ahead. But I think definitely you've made the right choice, Leslie. Roderick?
Thank you, Dean. Two questions. My son is going to do the PPE. And so my first question is, do all three sort of areas get explored to the same, level of depth, or is really one of the three the more dominant across philosophy, politics, and economics? And the second question, he's decent at maths, but has heard from some previous students that the economics maths requirement is quite heavy, and some folks are saying, one or two made decisions to then drop economics and then narrowed it down. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I mean, it is it's one of the heavier programs because it's the three majors and the economics major has more courses than others. So economics, law, and psychology have the most courses in the faculty. So it will be a bit heavier than simply having a double major. But I would encourage him to do it. I mean, if he's been accepted for the program, there are few students in that program. He'll get a lot of support. I think it's extremely interesting. I think they do the same courses as if you would be doing a philosophy major and a politics and economics major. So the same courses will be in that PPE, it's just that it's combined. So I would say, yeah, similar level of depth in each subject, but it's a bit heavier than the other majors. I think let him try it and see how it goes, and he can always switch later on if he feels like it's too much.
Thank you.
Lignet?
Thank you, Dean, for giving me another chance. My question again is about the issue of, it's a general question, it's about the laptop. I'm not so sure how it works. Like if you're not going to be, you're going to pay cash, and how is the process and how much is involved? Because I was thinking I must get one for my sister, but if the university is providing one, how do I get one for her?
Yeah, if your child is on NSFAS, I believe they get a laptop, and they should know by now. They should know by now where to get it from. But maybe I also just ask Sashni to try and respond to that in the chat. And if you need further information, then just please contact us. I will share the email as well in the chat at the end of the session.
Yeah.
We have Ken.
Thank you, Dean. Just, I think Mandy is a quick question with regards to curriculum for psychology. In fact, for maybe other courses, we noticed that in the handbook there's some preset sort of courses, particularly in things like the fine arts and so forth. But for the BSOC science, psychology and sociology as majors, we weren't able to pick up whether there's sort of like a preset defined curriculum of courses. How does the process work, and how would my daughter then select which courses she needs to do for her psychology and sociology majors?
Okay, so both psychology and sociology only have one option in first year. So there's the first semester course and the second semester. So if she wants to do those majors, it's very straightforward. She has to do those first year courses that are listed in the handbook. It's only starting from second year where there tends to be more flexibility. So there will be some core courses that they have to do every year, and then there'll be some electives. So she will be able to choose a core course in sociology that's required, and they tend to be research methods courses in the second year, and in the third year too. Similar in psychology, the research methods courses are the required courses, and then she'll be able to select electives. What she just needs to bear in mind is how many courses she needs to complete the major. So I believe in sociology it's 6, 2 in each year, and in psychology it's 8, 2 in first year, and then 3 in second year, 3 in third year. So she must just keep track of that. But first year tends to be very straightforward and quite limited choices in the actual departments.
Okay, no, thank you for that, Dean. Maybe just as a follow-up, we really did struggle to ascertain that in the handbook. Is there some guidance for us to be able to view so that we as parents know what are those core courses that she must be doing?
Yeah, I think she should download her curriculum forms and speak to a curriculum advisor. Ask her to have a look at the orientation and registration sites on Vula. I know there's a lot of information. She's probably received a lot of emails, but if you just go through them, you will find an easier format and access to curriculum advisors if you need additional help.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. Jenny, I'm going to take Jenny as the last question because we're coming to an end.
Hello, Dean. Thanks again. I just wanted to ask if my daughter's having a matric paper remarked in a subject where she didn't meet the threshold and the offer was, and the conditional offer was not confirmed. Okay, so if this paper is remarked and it ends up being that she does now qualify, it was a BSc, for example, can she transfer or does she have to wait till next year?
Yeah,
does she have to reapply? Does she have to go through the whole process all over again? And then will too much time be lost? And should she wait for next year? Or how do you normally deal with situations like this?
Jenny, I'm going to ask Sashi to respond to you on that one. I believe she's going to have to apply for next year, but it will really depend whether she received an offer or not. So I'm not sure. I think let's ask Sashni to respond to you.
Thank you, Dean. Can I just confirm, did your daughter receive an offer from UCT already?
Yes, she did. And then she got, for the first time in her entire school career, she didn't make the minimum requirement for maths, which was, I mean, I'm sure it happens, but we're just trying to plan for the future. How do you deal with a situation like this? Does it take too much time? Should you rather finish your first year and see whether you like it, or try and switch immediately if your mark brings you back into the running again?
So can I just clarify, does your daughter want to move to another faculty and the maths mark is dependent on that?
If the maths mark comes back higher, or what she thought it might be, can she move to another faculty if she wants to? Because at the moment we've been through the depression and we're at acceptance and we're moving on, but we still want to know if it's still a possibility.
So there are two choices here, right? A student can say, we do not roll over offers. So if the offer was made this year and she opts not to take it, we can roll over the application, which means she takes a gap year. And then she applies again for 2023. If you get revised marks, there's the choice then to apply to the other faculty as well, the faculty that was the first choice. And if the marks are better and meet that faculty criteria, then she could get in that way. The other option is that she finishes her first year in the humanities, and each faculty has transfer criteria, and that's available on their website. And if her marks meet the transfer criteria, and if she gets revised marks as well by then, there may be the option of transferring to another faculty.
Thank you, Sashni.
Thank you.
I see Faika, your hand, so I'm gonna take you as the last because we've gone a little bit over time.
I just wanted to know, my daughter has registered and registration is still pending. It's been already 5 days.
Yeah, we apologize about that. Online registration takes a while. If you can just send us your daughter or ask your daughter to send us an email and we'll have a look at what's happening. But I know that there's been some delays.
Okay, can I have Shasni's email? Will you send it via?
So yes, she's just put it in the chat, fmhum@uct.ac.za. So please send your request there.
Sorry, what was that?
It's fmhum@uct.ac.za. I'm afraid we have to close. Thank you so much for joining us, for choosing the humanities, for participating in the discussion. We often get queries, questions, emails from parents, and we're not supposed to communicate directly with parents about their children. So especially once your child is ready. So we will, of course, respond to your emails, but most probably via your child. So, you know, I just wanted to that sometimes parents are surprised about that. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. And we're really looking forward to welcoming your children next week to class. Thank you.